People might think that a company that generates social impact might not be financially successful, or alternatively, that it cannot generate social impact if its focus is on making money. Well, we disagree with that. Hi, I'm Silvia Manca, responsible for social impact programs at EIF. Today, EIF Talks, the 4 myths about social enterprises. Thank you very much. If I say the term social enterprise, what does this mean to you? Is it a charity? Or maybe a philanthropic organization? And what about the word enterprise? Is that a business? Where does its money come from? Can you make a profit? And if it makes a profit, is that bad? These are some common questions that confront social enterprises. I work for the European Investment Fund, the EIF. We at the EIF support small businesses across Europe by improving their access to financing. We don't operate in a philanthropic space. There are many great European institutions that do so. But in a way, we contribute to society in a different way. We invest. One of the types of investments that the EIF makes is into social impact funds. Social impact funds invest into social enterprises, like online mathematics tutoring for primary school pupils, like an open source database for genomic data, or businesses that refurnish old warehouses into basketball pitches. That's interesting. And what has to do with business? Well, this brings me on to the first myth about social enterprises. It has everything to do with business, because like any other business, a social enterprise has customers, revenues, and growth potential. The objective of a social enterprise is to establish a business model that seeks to solve societal challenges in a lasting and self-sustainable way. So, is a social enterprise a socially responsible business? Well, not really. If you think about an airline, an oil company, or a bank, they all may have great corporate social responsibility policies. Yet that, on its own, does not make them a social enterprise. Is then a business that generates social impact? Well, yes and no. For example, a low-cost supermarket chain may decide to bring down the costs of groceries for families and vulnerable people, therefore having a positive impact on society. However, unless this is intrinsic in its mission, it's not necessarily a social enterprise. This brings me on to the second myth about social enterprises. They are not just socially responsible businesses, but they are businesses that make the social impact central to their mission. The social enterprise's impact is intentional, and the social enterprises accept to be accountable for the social impact they generate. Some of our companies, they do great things. For instance, an app that allows you to buy discounted restaurant food, eliminating food waste, or vocational training course that allows people to retrain as coders and developers. People might think that a company that generates social impact might not be financially successful, or alternatively, that it cannot generate social impact if its focus is on making money. Well, we disagree with that. The EIF has worked and developed the social impact investment space for several years now. And we have seen that social impact and financial success can grow hand in hand. They are not enemies, they are friends. We have seen a positive inflows in the social impact space from venture capital funds to small family offices who want their money to do something good for society, but at the same time, they also want a financial returns. So this brings me on to the third myth about social enterprises, that they should have exclusively a not-for-profit orientation. That is wrong, that they are financially successful. But is that right? should we care more about the social impact they generate rather than what they make with the profit? Of course, the profit generation should not alter the social mission of a social enterprise. For instance, we don't want that a business excludes needy beneficiaries because they are difficult to reach and because this might lower the profit margin of a company. And this brings me on to the fourth myth of social enterprises. Some think that social enterprises are not a good investment prospect. They might not grow, they might collapse, they only rely on handouts. Therefore, we shouldn't give them access to finance. We disagree with that. At the EIF, when we first launched the Social Impact Accelerator in 2013, one of the objectives was to demonstrate that social impact and financial return can be credibly combined in one business model. 5 years down the road, we do have evidence that this is possible. Some of the companies that were initially only backed by specialized impact investors, they are now becoming the target for mainstream venture capital funds, and they are using this backing to financing their growth and their scale. So at the EIF, we have placed the positive correlation between social impact and financial return at the heart of our impact investment strategy. So do many private investors that are familiar with the space. We therefore believe that social enterprises should be given equal opportunities in access financing, just as any Europe's startups and businesses. We really do believe that. Do you?